So I get this phone call yesterday morning and everything just goes wrong from that moment on. What do you do when this kind of thing happens? Let me tell you about my last 24 hours. For years I've had a struggle with keeping my care. I'm paralysed just below here and I have 24-hour care because of a condition called Autonomic Dysreflexia. Autonomic dysreflexia is a potential dangerous and, in rare cases, lethal clinical syndrome that develops in individuals with spinal cord injury, resulting in acute, uncontrolled hypertension. All caregivers, practitioners and therapists who interact with individuals with spinal cord injuries must be aware of this syndrome, recognize the symptoms and understand the causes and treatment algorithm. And it can occur at any time, and it needs intervention really quickly by someone that's trained and knows what they're doing. In short, what happens is if I feel any kind of pain or discomfort below my level of feeling, which is here, it sends my blood pressure really high. I'm not talking about 150 over 105. We're talking about in the 200s over the 140s, 150s. So it's not blood pressure that you take down over a few days, a few weeks with tablets. It's blood pressure that you need to take down now. Otherwise it can lead to a stroke or death. That's why it's a medical emergency. So I have 24-hour care for that reason. About a week ago, they phoned me up and said, we're going to come and do an NHS assessment, which is fine. Over all the years, I've had so many problems with social services and things, I am a bit cautious when the NHS come out and do an assessment. That wasn't the big worry. That was okay. I was preparing myself for that. I've had a lot of years. I've been in a wheelchair 27 years. I've had a lot of time preparing for that. But then I got out of bed and I had a piece of toast, nothing amazing, bit of marmalade on it. And I just gobbled down the toast. I didn't overly enjoy it. I didn't even take much notice. I was looking forward to lunch, actually. I like my lunch. I'm someone that loves his food. Anybody that regularly follows me, don't forget to hit the subscribe and the bell if you don't want to miss any videos. But I like my food. And I was looking forward to lunch. So I scoffed down my toast. And then I got a phone call. Said, you're due your colonoscopy tomorrow. Am I? I haven't heard nothing about it. Yes, tomorrow morning. You're 10 past 8 in the morning. And when was the last time you eaten? About an hour ago. Right, don't eat no more for the rest of today and tomorrow. Okay? And only drink liquids and no milk. Okay. And you know those sachets we sent you a while ago? Drink one of them at 4 o'clock and one of them at 8 o'clock. Okay. This is, of course, to clear me out. I've been having a lot of problems recently. And to not give you an image, but it was rather tedious and interesting. Few hours after taking the drinks. So there I was. I'm diabetic, type 2, so it's only tablets. So I don't have to worry about it too much. And here I am, getting to lunchtime, really starving. Of course I wasn't, and there's loads of days I've skipped lunch till 3, 4 o'clock. But because I couldn't have lunch, I was fancying every kind of lunch out there. And then when it comes to my tea, my evening meal, I was even more starving. It was and I was going through in my head all the different things that I would want and all that. And I was drinking peppermint tea. That's all I was drinking. And so I was getting hungrier and hungrier and wanting these things more and more. And suddenly I realized that I never really appreciated the food I was eating until I haven't got the food I'm eating. So that was kind of frustrating. But it was also a wonderful thing to look forward to today when I come to eat my lunch. And I'll tell you about that in a moment. So the day went on and I went back on the bed because for me, the evening is easier coping after the drinks and all that, being on the bed. And Of course, they didn't tell me you go freezing as well. You go really, really cold if you don't eat anything for a long time. When you've got no fuel in your belly, you got like nowhere, or you got limited capacity to generate heat. So then I was freezing. I had my hat on in bed. I was freezing. I didn't have any sleep. I was worried about it. So this morning, I got out of bed. The sun was rising. Beautiful sunrise over Truro. It's really, I haven't seen it for quite a while because I normally get out of bed a bit later because the carers know I've got to get out of bed. They've got to come and get me out. So I don't normally see the sunrise. So I seen that. That was really nice on the way to there. We got there and I went down through. The procedure went really okay. It was really, I've got to thank the NHS staff. They were brilliant. Everything went well. The preliminary results are good. I have nothing to worry about. But then I come home and I really enjoyed my lunch today. Like, just eating it was just tasted way more than it did normally. And that's the same thing. I love my beans on toast. I'll have them most days. But today it tasted so much different because I couldn't have it yesterday. And what is amazing about life is, do we really have to lose something to enjoy it? Do you really have to lose your ability to walk before you appreciate how incredible, what a superpower to walk is? Do you have to lose your ability to keep warm or lose your eyesight to appreciate your eyesight? Very often we do. Very often we've got to lose something to gain it. You know, something has to die to gain it. That's why I say about born again Christians. We have to die to wake up. And of course they don't mean physically die. They mean the ego, that the person has to die, has to come across that dark night of the soul or that rock bottom that when the ego just goes, can't do it anymore. I've had enough. Can't deal with life anymore. And then from that rock bottom, from that new place, you suddenly gain what you had all along, but you have a new appreciation for it. You have a new tendency to dwell on the taste a little, to appreciate the finer parts of life and the body and the way things are. And because I'm diabetic, when I go without food, my sugar levels go up and down a little bit. And I recognise by tea time, by my evening meal, and certainly this morning, I was teasy. I was teasy as a rat. I really was. And I was lying in bed and I was very quiet. And I'm sure my carers thought I was just quiet because of today's procedure. I wasn't. I was quiet because they were ignoring, that they were doing everything in their power to annoy the hell out of me. But of course they weren't. They weren't doing anything different. In actual fact, one came in early. The other one got out of bed early, and they both come to the hospital with me, and they were both absolutely great. You know, I can't thank them enough. But I was lying there, and everything was irritating me. I was teasy, but the thing is, I recognised I was. So instead of me jumping on everything they'd done, I was like, I'm really teasy, and I know they're doing no different than usual. And I'm teasy because I haven't had food. I'm teasy because I've got a procedure today that I'm not looking forward to. So I didn't take it out on them. So all of those anger and the teasiness and the frustration and the judging and all that, that was all coming up. It was all there. It was all present. And I was able to see it and observe it. But because of the work I've done, because of meditation, because of mindfulness, I was being mindful about what's happening in my body. And this is where mindfulness plays the part. Instead of me getting teasy with them thinking, well, we're doing this for you, you know, outside of our work remit, we're here doing things for you and we don't need to, and you're having a go at us. Will you imagine the scenario during the day if I did start getting fussy with them? if I did start moaning about their little things, oh, why are you doing that? Do it this way, do it that way, when they were doing it no different. So this is what mindfulness gives you. And this is what I've recognized over the last 48 hours or 24 hours, is life happens. Life takes a turn all the time. We're not in control of what happens. We're not in control of what happens outside. We're only in control of how we respond to it. And very often, when things are arising within, we don't have to jump on it. We don't have to, just because we're angry, we don't have to have a go at someone. We don't have to put it out there. We don't have to let someone know we're angry. We don't have to let someone know. You just become aware of it. Just become aware of what's going on, what's arising in your body, and be okay with it. If you want to share it, share it. Say, look, I'm really feeling quite teasy today. I'm feeling angry. Everything is getting to me. If I do say something, I apologize. I don't mean it. It's not personal, but I have had nothing to eat for 24 hours, and that could be why. Just that little explanation, that little... years ago, I wouldn't have done that. Years ago, I would have just snidey comments, and I'd have huffed and puffed, I'd have sulked. But no, I just remained quiet, realised that it's my problem, and they're doing their best. And in actual fact, they're doing better than their best because they're helping me beyond what they have to. They didn't have to sit out in a waiting room in a hospital for hours, which they did this morning. The coffee was far from desirable. It's just that mindfulness of becoming aware and how much it can really change your life if you respond. And responding doesn't mean you always have to do something. In that moment, I realised everything I'm writing in my book that I'm writing at the moment, the book called Choosing Nothing, everything that's in that book, is what I'm explaining, is exactly this. Just because something is arising, it doesn't mean we have to choose to do anything at all with it. You can be angry and choose to do nothing with it. Or you can choose to skillfully do something with it. You don't have to jump to your habitable responses as what you've always done, as what we've always done. Because we very often make things worse. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, which you might be, click the subscribe, don't miss a video. I'm Stephen Webb, and I help people like you if you're going through a difficult time. We all do on occasion. I help you to get through it. You can head over to my website at the moment. There's a link at the top, meditations, and there's a link below, meditations. You can get all of my meditations for an amazingly special offer at the moment. It's not going to last long. It's only for the first few. Actually, about for the first 100, and that's it. I have to draw the line somewhere. So meditations.stephenwebb.com. The link is below.